So I'm starting the lecture now. It is lecture number 3 for business organization global context. We will be doing 1.3 today, inshallah. It says evaluate the strategies employed by the business organizations operating in a global environment. As usual, you need to focus on the command verb, that is evaluate, which means once you have done the explanations for the indicative content points, you need to work on strengths and weaknesses, similarities and differences, judgment, conclusion. And the question itself is all about the strategies. In the indicative content, you can find the points under the heading organizational strategy. This is the description of the command verb. In the question, you need to work on all these points. That is, explain each strategy in depth after the introductory paragraph. Organizational strategy, human resources, environmental strategy, equal opportunities, ethics, financial plan, international partnering, electronic marketing, and import-export processes. All these points were there. Then for each strategy, what we need to do, we need to explain all of these, then identify strengths and weaknesses. If you add examples, it's going to be a plus point, or you can add hypothetical examples as well. After covering all the points, work on the similarities and differences between the strategies, then work on the evidence from the different perspectives. That is what because it's an organization, you need to add the perspectives from the eye of shareholder, stakeholder, operational, management, ethical, etc. Make a valid conclusion or reasoned judgment about which strategies are most effective. What do you think out of all these strategies from organization till import-export processes, which is the best one and why? Apply the current theories or research. For example, for this assessment criteria, we have the Bartlett and Goschel theory, RBV, the research-based work, and the stakeholder theory to support the evaluation. So 3 theories in total. The lecture starts from here. That is a global organizational strategy. The global context affirms organizational strategy sets the broad orientation for how it balances the efficiency, control, and local responsiveness choices, usually describing by the Bartlett and Goschel classic typology, that is of the 3 most important component of the international strategies, including the global, multi-domestic, transnational, and the transnational and international. That is what's going on between the countries and within the country. A global strategy emphasizes standardization and scale economies. It's really important when
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, can you repeat once again with the first beginning once again? I'm so sorry.
All right. It says from the very first lecture, that is global organizational strategy, what actually it means. It means in the global context, a firm's organizational strategy, which we make according to the decision-making power, including the internal, external bodies, sets the broad orientation for how it balances efficiency of what? Of all the economies of scale, resources, raw materials, factor of production, which we're using to make the product and giving out the services, controlling a local responsiveness, choices usually described by the Bartlett and Goschel theory, typology 1. In this, he actually emphasized that how we can curb the international strategies and use in the local ones, including the global strategies. What happens when we talk about the international businesses, multinational businesses, when we are interacting globally, multi-domestic within the frame of country, transnational and international. Transnational, everything is going to be between the cities, and international, it is going to be beyond the countries. A global strategy emphasizes standardization and scale economies. Standardization is that we're using set rules and regulations everywhere, regardless what sort of law or rules they are, we need to follow it. And scale of economies or scale economies means all the resources are being used efficiently and effectively. A multi-domestic strategy emphasizes on the local adaptation. That is, whatever the rule suits locally, you have to opt for that. A transnational attempts to combine both seeking global efficiency while being locally responsive, because obviously when you become transnational, then you can go for the international businesses. Strengths of an explicit global strategy are clarity of resource allocation. Explicit one are, which we can touch, we can feel, we can work on, we can see the effects. Resource allocation, or the allocation of resources, as in the raw material, factor of production, that is land, labor, capital we're using to make the products and delivering of the resources, how we are using it. the ability to exploit the scales of economies and standardize best practice across the borders. You are going to experiment and then finalize which is the best one, and predictable governance, all of which help the lower unit cost and accelerate the global brand building, because ultimately the goal is to go for profit maximization, reducing the cost for the products for the producer side, but to gain more from the consumer side. I hope slide 7 is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then number 8 says weaknesses are rigidly, that is, we are not bound to follow everything. We are rigid to adapt the changes. Risk of cultural misfit and slower local decision making. Because when you are in a multinational or even the transnational phase, we are having different people from different backgrounds and ethnicity. Firms that over-standardize may miss the local consumer preferences or regulatory nonsense. That is, over-standardization. Not all of the time you can spark up all the rules and regulations in the organization according to the ethics and cultures and grounds. You need to sometimes give free hands to the workers as well and to the organization's department. A practical example could be a fast-moving consumer goods firm might standardize product formulation for the cost and logistics reasons in similar markets, but adapt packaging and marketing locally. Uh, Primark store is in the UK, and the products, that is, their mainly clothes, are made in Bangladesh and Pakistan because it's cheaper, and the factor of production, labor, each and everything is quite in a less amount. So it's always better to go for these countries, that is the developing nations, and you are going to earn double the amount in the developed nation. This is basically followed by all the big brands. The resource-based view RBV, the TD, and the Bartlett-Gosha one together help explain why a firm chose one approach, why they opt for one approach. That is, they match internal capabilities, what uniqueness, what benchmarking skills an organization possess from itself. That is the unique resources to external pressures, that is market differences and scale needs. Market differences is, let's assume that we have one industry, but the market is going to be different. Your scale of organization, the size, the structure, the needs, the styles, everything varies from one another. So definitely the capabilities also differs. Human resource policy, now the points from the indicative content starts. In a global firm, the human resource policy covers the staffing models. What are these staffing models? The expatriate management, local recruitment training, performance management, and knowledge transfer. What is expatriate? Expatriates are the expats, the one you have, the people, the employees who are going from one country to another to work in an XYZ organization. Like people from Pakistan are going to KSA for the job. That's known as the expatriate management. And expat. Local recruitment, you're recruiting people from your own country. Let's say KSA. Training, then you give them the training. Performance management, how they are performing, and we conclude their performance through KPI indicators. Knowledge transfer, at what pace we are learning from one and each other. A strong global HR policy aligns talent allocation with strategy, that is using expatriates where the corporate control and knowledge transfer are critical, and the local hires where the cultural and market knowledge matter. So what is the crux of this paragraph? In an organization, when it's a multinational, you have to hire people from other countries as well, and you have to hire people from your own country as well. Then you are able to produce excellent sort of strategies and policies as well. Strengths, when done well, the HR policies secure the critical analysis skills, facilitate the transfer of the best practices, build the corporate culture, and create global leadership pipelines. And only then you actually intervene into different part of countries because you have opt people from different parts of the world. However, expatriate packages are costly, they are expensive. Why? Because first you're hiring from the other country, you have to call up their families as well if they have, and then you have to give them the allowances as well, like the dependent visas which we used to have back in UK. Now it's not for the bachelorate, though it is for the research degree, masters, and PhD level. When you can go to the UK, taking the admission, Then you can call your family as well if you have it. And then you need to give them the home, the allowances, the childcare, everything. Cross-cultural failure rates, that is poor selection, inadequate cross-cultural training, or weak repatriation processes. People from Pakistan go to Oman as well. And the companies actually contact with each other, like the Beacon House School system. Maybe if you are any idea about it, it has a branch in Oman as well. So the teachers from Pakistan, they go there as well from on the expatriate packages. They are posted there. For example, a multinational tech firm may rotate the managers through regional postings to build the leadership skills. This is not the army or any force postings that you are in one city, then the other city, then slowly and gradually you change the country. No, it is a between the organizations which are multinational. And the benefit is always the global perspective. Weaknesses is always the family disruption. Maybe in few of the packages of expatriates, you are not allowed to call the family or given some extra benefits, which you can send back to the home. Theories. Hofstede's cultural dimensions and cross-cultural management research warned that the human resource practices must be sensitive to national culture. Yes, it must be. Human capital theory underpins investment in training. Obviously, you hire people, you're calling them, you're going to train them, it is a cost, but there is a hindrance, there is fear that they might leave the organization as well. This is how you fulfill the criteria of your command verb evaluate. Similarities and differences, judgment is going to be at the end. Theories, the last part, which is in your description of command verb. This is over here. Apply current research or theories to support the evaluation when applicable. This is how you do it. Okay, this is the demo for it. Point number 2 is environmental strategy. Environmental strategy in the global organization ranges from the compliances, that is meeting the local environmental laws, what are the laws for your country, which is for the environment, to proactive sustainability. Proactive, you are taking exactly the measures which are required for the time. Carbon reduction targets, that is the dioxide. Circular economy adoption, that is you're not opting for the mixed economy or the material economy, you're going for the circular economy, going from the government to the logistics, to the law, to the home, then to the other surface. We have 4 sectors in the circular economy. And public CSR reporting, corporate social responsibility, what publicly people are doing, that is also important. Good point. Include the risk mitigation, that is regulatory and reputational. You are trying to avoid the damage which can cause to the reputation of the businesses. Cost savings from the energy efficiency, solar system, electricity from the wind, sometimes using saver bulbs in which we reduce the consumption of the electricity. Not using the electricity in the peak hours, that is here in Pakistan, it is 5 p.m. till 11 p.m. Market differentiation, things are equilibrated, alignment with the investor stakeholder expectations, that is what they're expecting from the business and what you're giving them in return. Growing evidence links credible sustainability commitments for the consumer loyalty and access to capital. Obviously, when you're going to make sure that the consumers are happy, the investors are happy, in return, they're giving you the investment. Definitely, you have the access to the capital, assets, money, things which can store the amount. However, include upfront investment costs. You always need big investment cost, measurement and attribution problems, that is how to measure the emissions, reduction across complex supply chains. It is not easy. It's easy to talk about the policies, sustainability factors, but when we need to add that in the life, in the daily routine, it costs a lot. And the risk of acquisitions of the greenwashing if the commitments are superficial. Greenwashing was when we are lying. That is, we are not using the sustainability in reality, but we are actually showing it. Like Zara company, they say that they are environment friendly, their products are sustainable, they are recycled, but in reality they are not. This is not this is known as greenwashing. And before sustainability word, there is another word which is exactly meaning of greenwashing, and right now I'm not remembering it. But I hope the concept is clear to you people, that what actually greenwashing is. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Example, all right, a manufacturing firm investing in the cleaner production to reduce the fuel bills and comply with stricter European regulations. or a clothing brand introducing supplier audits to reduce water usage. The triple bottom line, remember we did this in the CSR course, and the stakeholder theory justify the environmental strategy as creating the value for society and reducing the long-term business risk. So in reality, there are so many theories and in real work as well in the world going on, which many of the organizations do follow. But most of them, they do not do it. They go for the greenwashing. Equal opportunities policy. And equal opportunities is all about diversification and inclusion. That is policy establishing non-discriminatory recruitment. Uh, even in the interview panel, if you have grudge regarding any gender, they won't be hiring you. Promotion and pay practices and often targets the greater gender, ethnic, and disability inclusion. And if you have some sort of disability, again, it can cause a problem. Plus point, strengths, widening the
Ma'am,
talent.
excuse
Yes.
me, can you repeat once again? Can you repeat once again? You said something about, I exactly don't remember, but right now, not clear to this topic right now.
Um, in the first two lines of the heading Equal Opportunity Policy, in summarized way, it means that you need to be going with equilibrium, balance between both the genders, male and female. Do not discriminate between them. They have the equal rights, they have the equal respect. People out of nowhere do have, and why some people have with the males, some people have the females due to the past traumas or something's going on in their life, and they do trigger it out with the people who are coming for the interviews. It happens. So this is what actually is it's all about, and it is mandatory to keep equilibrium, balance between both the genders when they're in the multinational firm or even anywhere, like any sector. Good point, widening the talent pool. Definitely you talent up the pool. How? When you are hiring both the people, both the genders. Enhancing creativity, like now it is common, even you people have witnessed it, that Saudi do encourage female to participate in their forces. Before that, this wasn't a thing at all. Now you can even see females at the reception everywhere. Things are changing. What they're doing, equal opportunities, everyone. They can drive, they can go to the concert, they can go to the universities, they can do whatever they want to. Weaknesses, implementation of the gaps, that is policies that exist on the paper but not in the practice. Yes, the economies are running like this. We are not following exactly the exact acts which were made when the countries were into existence. We are following it with the flow. What is going on, just adjust accordingly. Cultural friction in markets where the social norms differ and possible short-term resentment if the poorly communicated perceived reverse discriminations. And out of nowhere, when people have grudges, it can cause issues between both of the entities. For example, a global firm using the blind circumventive CV screening, what happens? Why it is always recommended to use all those words, not all the words, but few of the words which are given in the advertisement or any job specification description, because the systems, they are trained accordingly. When you have used those words again and again in your CV, automatically the system is going to read your CV, and it will be definitely read by the higher authorities too. If it's beyond that JD and JS, then definitely how system can read it. Automatically they cannot. Like recently, a person was not able to get their boarding pass because only 5 days were left to be in the expiration of the passport. Every country, they give you their visas maximum for stay of 180 days, that is 6 months. System is manually you can do that. It's not difficult to generate a boarding pass, but when you scan a passport on the systems, it automatically rejects it, that we cannot generate it. Nowadays it happens because of the AI tech going on and the advancement in the technology area. For example, I think example is done. Yeah.
Even ma'am, most of the countries like us, there's some particular countries they face a lot for while coming from another country or maybe coming back to your home country. There's
Hmm.
so many technology issues are having, though our passports are up to date, though our passport is everything we have updated, but still in the system it's not working. System down, so many things happen. Like we faced a lot this time. Like I don't know, some most of, I heard even from our family members they also face like that. That though our passports is up to date, but the main thing is that that the system is not working, the system is not showing that this person's passport has been updated or not, like this, like, you know, if the cases happens like that, you
Yeah,
know, ma'am.
this happens a lot because of the technology going on. Like, okay, that's good that we understood the point. Then coming towards the ethic policy that says including the codes of conduct, discipline, supplier codes, definitely for the suppliers too, just like the consumers, we have the codes of conduct which we need to follow, anti-corruption programs, whistleblowing mechanism, and training to ensure lawful and responsible behavior across jurisdictions. Whistleblowing is all the cases which are regarding the harassment at the workplaces, and we have now very strong bodies which deal all these things. And if you find anything which is not according to your ethics or some culture, you can always report it and go for the jurisdiction areas. Good points reduces the legal and compliance risk, that is anti-bribery laws, human rights expectations, builds the stakeholder trust, and secures long-term license to operate. Consistent ethics lower the risk of costly scandals because literally nowadays things are very disruptive as well. If there is an east, there is problems as well. It can cause a big organization reputation at stake just in a blink of an eye. Bad point, weaknesses, enforcing a uniform ethics that is standard across countries with the different norms can be difficult, like when you go in a pact with one country to another, and different countries even join together, what happens? You need to follow their rules and they need to follow your rules. Monitoring the global supply chain is expensive. Some host country agents expect informal payments, creating the dilemma that is just a delusion. For example, using third-party audits and hotlines with the suppliers to detect the labor abuses, that is, if something bad has happened, they are triggering you like that, adopting a global code that forbids facilitation payments, even where the locally tolerated. The interplay of institutional theory, this is the theory for this point, that is firms conform to regulatory or normative pressures, the one which is arising locally. An agency theory that is aligning the manager's incentives with the shareholders, stakeholders' interest. Many organizations, they make the rules and regulations, that is the handbook, according to the interest of stakeholders and shareholders. And they literally treat you as your puppet. Explains why firms invest in ethics program. And this is the reason because of the awareness, people know their rights. Now we have the ethic programs as well. Financial plan, a global financial plan covers capital budgeting, working capital management, transfer pricing, tax planning, treasury and foreign exchange risk management. What is a financial plan in short? We have read about the organization that we have the income, balance sheet, cash flow statement, XYZ. But as a country, when the countries amalgamate together, we have to work on the foreign ground. Then we need to work on the budgeting as a whole, working capital management, working on the assets, liabilities, expenses, overheads, then transfer pricing. When you are transferring your business from one owner to the another ownership control, or from one country to another, even city to city as well. Tax planning, because many people do tax evasion, they do not pay taxes by the time they're not filers, even they are actually corrupting the system. And then we have proper areas, I mean department, where we have agencies who see that who are paying tax and who people are not paying the tax. Treasury and foreign exchange risk management, these are with the government in which they deal with the FDIs, and the money which is in the reserve rank is also known as the treasury one. Good point, coherent global financial planning gives the visibility of cash flow, what's coming inside and what's going outside, reduces currency volatility through hedging, like the pact which we signed with the KSA. Just because of that, the Pakistani rupee traded a bit upwards, which was a good thing. It accelerated actually. Enables optimal allocation of capital across markets and supports strategic investments as well. And definitely, this was the reason before signing up the pact, the Saudi has made the law that even the expats they can buy and do the investment in the country now. This is things. This is how things goes on. And by 2030, you people will be soon going to be using the digital currency as a whole. However, forecasting across multiple currencies and regulatory regime is complex. Tax planning strategies risk public or regulatory backlash, especially after the BAP's anti-avoidance scrutiny. What happens? When you're an organization, public can set back to you. You cannot always expect that things are going to be according to your way. You have to think from their eye and perspective as well, that is the consumer. If you're mistreating them, if you're charging a lot of a product price of XYZ commodity, things can definitely go XYZ as well. Over reliance on the financial engineering can mask the operational weaknesses as well. That is hedging up the data. You're not showing the true picture that where exactly the organization is lying static. For example, a multinational centralizing the treasury to net intercompany flows and use the hedges to lock in effects, that is the foreign exchange rates, or using export credit agencies to finance foreign projects. Um, in simple words, if I want to explain this point to you people, example, when the multinational chains, that is, let's say Starbucks, they want to open in different parts of the countries or the world, and even the cities, once they enter the country, they have to follow the rules and regulation. They have to see and trade according to the foreign exchange of that currency which is going on. Like if it's in a KSA, it's a real. So they are going to adjust the prices accordingly. The main ultimate goal is that the original organization, they want to extract maximum profits out of that specific country from their brands by selling the products, which are again locally produced. Theories from the corporate finance, that is agency problems and risk management literature, stress balancing shareholder return with a prudent risk mitigation. We do have to deal with the organization's stakeholders and shareholders both side by side, but there are high chances that we have to uh, deal with the risk associated with all the decisions and discussions we take. International partnering policy. Parting decision, that is the joint ventures. Parting decision is when we amalgamate with different countries according to different criteria. Some people open the franchises, some people buy different places in the host country. That is joint ventures, alliances, franchising, licensing, strategic partnership, merger and acquisition. And the other word was diversification. Govern how company enters and grows in foreign markets. It depends on their plan, how they want to intervene in your country, and what kind of um, partnering policy they will be opting for. The good points: partnering offers local market knowledge that is shared risk and lower initial capital needs. It can spend speed entry where regulatory barriers exist. Why they can speed entry where there's the existence of the barriers? Because when there are barriers, it can cause problem. You have to follow the rules. You have to adjust your rules according to the other country rules. That is why it's important and mandatory to have a proper pact and then go on with your partnership going on according to anything that is opting for the joint venture franchising. However, partnership risk goal misalignment, that is what was your actual goal of the organization that matters. Is this to extract profit or to extract the recruitment or to work on the talent management? Then technology, IP leakage, and cultural clashes, governance structures are hard to design and may fracture when the market changes. Yes, when we have any slight change in any of the macroeconomic indicator, that is your FDI, foreign direct investment, uh, balance of payment, then micro indicators, that is inflation, employment, interest rates, foreign policies, money supply, fiscal policy. Any change come one country, it will affect the other country's policies. For example, a consumer brand franchising with the local operators to scale quickly, a tech firm forming strategic alliances with the local distributors for market access. The KFC chicken, you could think it's coming from the hub country. No, it's locally produced in your own country, wherever the branches are. Only the profit is being extracted. The recipes are same. Theories, transaction cost economics explain that choice between the market, alliance, and hierarchy levels, depending on the asset specificity and uncertainty, that is where do we lie all these policies? On the specificity and uncertainty. We're not sure about the things the next day, the next hour, a minute, a second, and we are specified as well with our rules and regulations. The two things going side by side. And then Dunning OLI that as the ownership location internalization, that is a pact which is signed when you go from one country to another in terms of the partnering policy, explains why firms internalize activities or the partners. They need to make sure that they are bound with your companies. You will make policies in such way. Electronic modes of marketing and communication. This covers e-commerce, social media marketing, CRM system, targeted digital advertisement, content localization, and digital consumer service. Nowadays, you people are the youth. You know that things have been changed a lot. If you compare it when you were the babies, now things are very different. Everything is tech-based. Everything is literally e-based, and we are changing accordingly. The good points has scalability. If you need any explanation of the points from the first bullet point, you can tell me. Second bullet point, I mean. Clear?
Ma'am, can you explain if partnering? I just want to say, if you can correct me, partnering policies is basically that it's the part of joint venture, like collaborating with them, or it's just like
Parking
something
policies,
like growing
like,
with other market.
no. When you're a multinational, you want to grow into another country, you have to sign a pact that on what basis you're going to intervene in that country. Will you be a joint venture? You want to be alliance that is a partner with that country in any of the product or service, or you want to open a franchise, or you want to give the licenses. That is how the international partnering policy works on.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Now I understand. Yes, ma'am.
no problem. Good point has scalability, precise targeting, rich measurement analytics, ability to personalize messaging, and relatively low incremental cost. That is the starting cost when you intervene in a new market. It enables rapid experimentation and local tailoring as well. Experimentation is Karachi, the other city of Pakistan. We have a very famous cafe called Xander's there. The Barber's Pasta is very famous. Now we have a branch here in Islamabad too. And that is the best example of the rapid experimentation. When the people, they are going back and forth to a restaurant and asking the owner to open a branch in XYZ city, please, then the things are going to be different. The prices are more or less same, but yes, the quality differs because you cannot make the chefs work at one place, like two places, one body. That's not possible. So you only can get training. Then weaknesses, data privacy, regulatory constraint, a GDPR Act, local data laws, platform fragmentation across countries, cybersecurity risk, unequal internet access, that limits reach in some markets. Obviously, these are the weaknesses of all the social tech areas because when we are in the electronic modes, we do faces electronic issues that is sometimes system gets failed, internet is not working, backlisting is going on, so many things. Example, using localized social campaigns and local influencers to enter a market while using centralized analytics stack to measure the rate or return on investment. Marketing theory, okay, before this. Now, you people know that we have a trend of bloggers, food bloggers, and Instagram people where they make reels and promote your business sponsorship. What happens? They literally send their products to them for free, give them the money as well. We have different packages. If you are going to post, the money is going to be different. If you're going to make a video, the money is going to be different. That is, the package is going to be different. If you're going to speak in that story, Instagram story, Snapchat story, or any social media story, things are going to be different. That is how people are.
PR paid collaboration.
PR paid collaboration, yes, PR packages. This is what now we have the PR agencies as well, which actually facilitates all these bloggers.
Yeah, even it open in yes, ma'am. Now even it open in our country. Even I think in our country they're opening Amazon. Apart from this is another side topic though.
Okay, okay.
Our country soon they're opening Amazon office
In
in
case
person.
you're
I actually don't
Bangladesh.
know how. It's in Bangladesh, ma'am, in our country.
Okay, okay.
We just saw the news. It's going to open. But
That,
this collaboration you're talking about, right, ma'am? So recently there was a Sunsilk event. If you have seen in the Instagram in our country, if you know Hania Amish, she came to Bangladesh for this. She's the ambassador of Sunsilk Bangladesh. Sunsilk.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
Mention ads, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
If you see her ads, I'm so because I don't want to talk about it, but though this is also
Mm,
part of ambassador and collaboration. And I've seen our country bloggers have given one ad. They got the packages like for the invitation, and there's a
yeah.
challenge that you have to show, which is the
Mm,
best hair for you, and you're ready to meet her. It's like that,
yes,
like according to that.
this is going on. But this is the tactic of the electronic media. That is how you're going to intervene in the market, and things are going to be eye-catching for the consumers. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Even
Um,
anything, launching new products also, like having
mm,
influencers or attending a
yeah.
particular event, giving the
Even
reviews, and then
launching
they're
it
going to
for the
launch
general
everything.
public, they send the products first to the bloggers. Literally, the day which they are having the launch date of that product, the bloggers are already talking good about that product. So literally in 2, 3 days, the stock runs out. This is the business, and this is the electronic media new tactic going on. Okay, I think this
Yes.
was the last point. Reliable import and export processes. These are the operational practices and controls, that is the logistics, customs compliance, uh, in terms choices, that is according to the countries to countries, trade finance, dual sourcing, inventory strategy, ERP integration. Now, what are these? We already know that what is an import and what is an export, right? Now we have a certain process for that. Those processes are based under the category of operational practices, which are for the daily life being in a business, and they comes under the logistic. First of all, your supply chain, custom compliances, rules which are for the consumers, Incoterms choice, that is, in short, Incoterms choice. It means Incoterms choice, that is, when you sign a pact between one country to another, you have the proper selection of the rules as well, because you cannot totally follow the other country's rules and regulations. You have to make sure that they follow yours and you follow theirs. Trade finance, that is which sources you are using for the financing term, whether you're going opting for any loans or going for the microfinancing. Dual sourcing, that is you're using the raw materials from inside your own country as well, and you're importing them as well. Inventory strategy, that is what's going on at the back end at the warehouses. ERP integration, when different economic regulations are integrated together and we make policies according to it, that ensure goods and services move across borders efficiently. And that is how literally things move from one country to another. Whether you take any industry, airline industry, rail industry, food industry, fashion industry, we have to see things literally quite diligently. Yes. Good point. Smooth trade processes reduce the lead times. That is, when things are already adjusted, they are already decided, things get really easy to make sure that the other person also uh, agrees with you. It won't take a lot of time to discuss things and matters with them. Inventory cost and customer service failures, good faith compliance avoids fines and reputational damage. Definitely, when things are already decided, you won't be having issues in these things as well. If not, definitely it will cause an issue. However, exposure to the tariffs, when you sign the treaties, pacts, there are tariffs as well, taxes as well, custom duties as well, geopolitical disruptions, country to country law, port congestion. If it is from sea to sea, then we have to see the rules which are for the seaports. Supply chain fragility, that is the logistic department. If it is all about transportations, suppliers, we have to be very crucial for it. Compliance complexity increases with the market served. According to the market diversification, the rules and regulation also changes. For example, a firm establishing regional distribution centers using trade financing banks and integrating customer brokers into its ERP to speed the clearances. Supply chain resilience theory, again, the risk management frameworks advise the diversification of the suppliers and scenario planning to mitigate the shock. So these three theories can even be used here to just justify this point. Similarities and differences overall. Similarities, all the strategies which we read today aim to create value and reduce risk, whether by scrutiny, that is securing the talent, reputation, capital market across, or operational reliability. They each require alignment, amalgamation with the corporate strategy and governance, measurement of the KPIs, and cross-functional coordination. You need to see what is going on inside the organization, which facts are hindering outside as well. Many rely on a mix of central control and local autonomy. Trade-offs between standardization and adaptation recur in the human resource department, marketing, ethics, enforcement, and environmental programs as well. So all these points, they are amalgamatingly together a good thing, but we have some differences as well. What they are. First of all, functional focus, that is HR versus finance versus operation, three groups together. Time horizon, financial plans and import-export processes often focus on short to medium-term cash and operations. That is the deal which was locked at, let's say, trading foreign exchange at 1:1 ratio. It can be different now in 2025 because the value of the currency is not going to be same. It's accelerating or decelerating. Environmental and the ethics strategies are longer-term reputational, institutional, and visibility to external stakeholders. That is how you're dealing with the stakeholders who have invested in the business, including marketing and environmental policies, are publicly visible. This is for the government stakeholder. Internal HR or treasury policies are more operational, that is based on your daily activities going on. Another key difference is the measurability. Digital marketing and treasury results are highly measurable in near real time. That is, we can actually see the growths. Many influencers, they are sharing their screenshots that how many people have shared, reshared, saved, reposted their post. What it is, all about
Yes.
measurability. Environmental and equal opportunities impacts are harder to quantify and require proxies. Definitely, country to country, we have to, work on different proxies. Some countries, they allow certain websites. You have to go for the VPN services as well, and it is bilingual both way. Okay. Now the perspective part of your command verb. From a shareholder perspective, managers should prioritize action that increase the firm value, that is financial discipline, effective market entry, and cost reduction in the supply solution. This is what a shareholder expects from a business. Then stakeholder. He wants to work on all these stakeholders, internal, external, that is consumers, employees, communities, regulators. Environmental stewardship, ethics, and equal opportunities matter for the legitimacy and long-term sustainability, that is stakeholder theory. A proper theory, and this is what actually a stakeholder perspective is as well. To have an equilibrium among all these stakeholder groups. From an operational risk perspective, robust import-export and tailored HR policies produce the profitability and probability both, that is the second chance, of costly disruptions. That is sometimes the decisions which you're about to take, they are win-win, sometimes they're not win-win. Empirical management research generally shows that well implemented, the empirical management is the one which are doing the research on different managerial decisions and aspects of the businesses, and diversify or diversity policies can correlate with the better performance, but outcomes are contingent on implementation equality and industry context. That is similarity or similarly, aligning alliances with the partnership can accelerate the growth, but also bring integration risk. Yes, if you want to go for any merger and acquisition, you want to conglomerate or you want to diversify your business, it has a cost. You have to follow their cost and they are going to follow your cost, and then you have to agree on a common ground. Theoretical frameworks that help weigh evidence include the RBV, that was research-based view, I think, a theory identifying which strategies produce immediate capabilities, and transaction cost economics, that is deciding make versus buy versus partner, that is who is going to buy, who is going to making the product, and who will be the partner to fund the products. And institutional theory that explains pressures to conform to host country norms. There are two countries, home country, host country. Home country for me is Pakistan, where I was born, and host country for me is the UK, where I do have the work and everything going on. Same goes for you. Bangladesh is your home country, Rosanna, and host country is KSA. Overall, no single perspective dominance. The best judgment comes from balancing financial returns, risk mitigation, and stakeholder legitimacy as well. These are the perspectives. Okay, till slide 20, your lecture was discussed according to the indicative content points, command verb description, and suggested evidence guide. I hope it was clear to you, to both of you.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear. And if we continue with the example, then it will be more clear for us, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. I chose a multinational because of the global context I wanted to add in your course, unit number 1. Starbucks, the multinational coffee house, Coffee house. My God. Coffee house chain operating in more than 80 countries, it faces the typical global challenges of managing the people, supply chains, cultural diversity, environmental responsibility, finance, and brand consistency. Now, according to the points, strategies, the points are over here. First is the HRP. Starbucks invests heavily in the training that is barista basics, offers health benefits even to part-time time staff in the US and provides global mobility opportunities. Yes. Good points, high employee loyalty, strong global culture that is partners instead of employees. That is what they do. Talent retention, keeping the talent, keeping the people in the organization for a prolonged period of time. However, costly to maintain globally, cultural HR practices may not translate equally. For example, unionization debates in the US versus collectivist culture in Asia. Country to country, because we are having branches of Starbucks around all of the world now, except I think Pakistan, where here we have Starbucks. Starbucks. Lesson. Global HR must balance the corporate culture with the
Ma'am,
local.
I have a question. I think in Pakistan also there's one coffee house, I believe, right? It's a little bit similar to Starbucks, and they're beating the Starbucks, something like that. It's one of the Pakistani food cafeteria. Exactly, don't remember. I saw the news of that. So they're
CBTL,
quite beating. Sorry, ma'am.
CBTL, coffee bean and tea leaf.
Yeah, maybe. No, I exactly don't remember. Like
If,
it's in Pakistan.
yeah,
It's in
it's a
Pakistan. They're telling it's Pakistani Starbucks. It's quite trending there. This is what they said.
uh,
They beat the original
it's a
Starbucks. Yeah.
Starbucks. Yes.
Oh
Actually,
yes, okay,
he
that one.
was
Yeah.
he was able to actually the Starbucks sued him, and he actually win the case as well. Alhamdulillah, because the logo is different, but menu everything is same. The words are different. It's very nice tactic,
Yes.
by the
They
way.
said that it's a little bit similar to Starbucks. They're telling similar to the beat it
Yeah.
the international Starbucks in Pakistan. Yeah.
Okay. Lesson is global HR must balance corporate culture with the local labor expectation, because when you open the branches in the different parts of the world, you have to respect the labor of that country as well. Environmental strategy, Starbucks has pledged to halve the carbon emission, reduce the water usage, and adopt recyclable packaging. It invests in ethically sourced coffee beans through its coffee and farmer equity, cafe practices. That is what they deemed that they do it with every country branches. Good points. Builds brand reputation, attracts eco-conscious consumers, meets regulatory expectations of the Europe and the US. However, usable cup schemes face low consumer adoption, acquisition of greenwashing concept when the targets are missed. Targets are missed, the one which they bucked up right now, that they're going to halve the carbon emission. They will be reducing the water usage, and they are going to offer the recyclable materials. But in reality, what they are doing, that is not exactly what they're following as well. That's the greenwashing. Lesson, environmental strategies must be ambitious, but practical consumer behavior can be bottleneck. It can hinder the reputation. Equal opportunity policy, the company promotes diversity through hiring practices and inclusion programs. That is the Starbucks College Achievement Plan, hiring refugees and the stars as well. Strength, strong employer brand, positive sales or reputation. However, implementation varies. Diversify focus on the US may not be equally relevant in the more homogeneous markets like Japan. Yes, because of the people preferences, the matcha trend going on. Lesson, equal opportunity works best when they adapted to the local social realities, like the croissant in the Starbucks in Paris is really different as compared to the other parts of the world. Ethic policy, Starbucks enforces strict supplier codes of conduct, rules and regulations, zero tolerance for the child labor. That is what they do. They say, I don't know what actually they do, and promotes fair trade and ethical sourcing. That is whatever they're sourcing for the products they're using in displaying at their outlet, they are all ethical. Strength protects supply chain integrity, enhances trust with the consumers. However, hard to monitor all small coffee farmers. Audits may miss hidden violations, that is small loopholes. Less than ethical policies require continuous monitoring and partnership with the NGOs or certification bodies. That's what they do once they intervene in one country to another. Financial plans, Starbucks uses centralized regulatory functions for the currency hedging, manages global expansion budgets, and adjusts pricing strategies to local economies, the point which I discussed earlier in the lecture as well. According to country, they adjust with the foreign exchange and the currency exchange rate prices. Good points, protects against the foreign exchange volatility, because the market of foreign exchange is very volatile. It is literally changing all the time. Today, the exchange rate number is going to be different as compared to the other day. It supports growth in emerging markets. However, premium pricing model limits reach in low-income countries, that is the developing nations. That is the reason they haven't still opened in Pakistan, though that importance is right now with us, though, but again, and the flavors, the prices, they are exactly according to the Canadian Tim Hortons. Less than a financial plan
Ma'am,
must
do you
balance.
have Starbucks in Pakistan? Ma'am, do you have
No, no,
Starbucks in
no, no.
Pakistan?
We don't have Starbucks in
Same
Pakistan.
as same as in Bangladesh as well.
Yeah. The reason is the weakness. Premium pricing model limits reach in low income countries because their model of pricing of the product is very different. A Starbucks is not cheap, it is expensive. And yet the flavors are same. Trust me. And I believe the local coffee cafeterias, which you people have uh, in the South, yeah, they are more better than the Starbucks. Their
Yeah, like
packaging, their
ratios,
flavors, their
tea,
richness,
yes.
everything is excellent as compared to the brand Starbucks. Lesson: a financial plan must balance the risk protection with affordability in local context. Yes, the reason is affordability. International partnering policy in markets like India, Starbucks partners with the Tata Group and Tata Starbucks. Yes. What happens? Because the Tata Group, the Ambani's group, they are financing Starbucks a lot. That is why big people, they always come on their weddings, big fat weddings. Strength leverages the Tata local knowledge, distribution, the network, and credibility. However, a shared control may limit the Starbucks autonomy in strategy execution. Very true. Because when large amount of investment is given by the host country, then you lose the control as a real owner of the organization. You have to follow that. Lesson: partnership reduce risk but require careful governance. You have seen that in every part of the India, we have Starbucks and people use it commonly. It's not expensive there. It's really common, a common brand.
Yes, ma'am.
Then electronic marketing and communication. Starbucks uses apps for mobile ordering, loyalty points. I was basically the star points. Personalized offers and runs global social media campaigns. The good points builds a tech-savvy loyal consumer base, generates valuable consumer data, and once the points are collected, you're going to get the adjustment, whatever you will be ordering. Weaknesses, the way the other brands do as well, Morrison, Sainsbury. Weaknesses, heavy reliance on the data raises the privacy concerns. Internet penetration varies globally. That is, you have to use proxies and VPNs. Less than digital marketing gives global scale, but must comply with the local data laws, that is GDPR Act and Integration Act, ICT. Reliable import and export process. Starbucks import coffee beans from the Latin America, Africa, and Asia to roasteries worldwide. It ensures quality through global supply chain management and trade finance agreements. Strength: secures consistent coffee quality. Global sourcing reduces the dependency on one grain. Yes, because you're importing from different parts of the world. Weaknesses: vulnerable to climate change, that is droughts affecting the beans, trade tariffs, and shipping delays. It depends on the country. I don't know about Pakistan, whether we produce coffee, but we are good in the other things, but not about the coffee because it states now they are extracting their coffee beans from the Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Africa is known for this, but for the Asia, I'll search that exactly where. Lesson diversification and long-term the farmer support are essential for the resident that is giving them the support. Similarities, differences, judgment for this example, all strategies aim to balance the global standardization the brand, ethics, packaging, financial planning with the local adaptation that is HR partnership pricing because the managers, the people, the workers, they're going to be from the local country. They're not going to be the Americans. Differences, some are internally focused, that is HR finance ethics, while others are externally focused environment, marketing, trade. Environmental and ethics policies are long-term and reputation-driven, while financial and trade processes are operational and immediate. That is the one which needs the money all the time, and you need to take the immediate actions. They are always from your host country rather than the home country. Again, home country America, host country India in this example. Judgment Starbucks succeeds because it integrates people-centered policies, HR equal opportunities with the operational strength, that is supply chain finance, and CSR. So three things in common, which we are actually following. The first thing is word people-centered policies, then the operational strength and the CSR. However, the bad points could be the like high pricing and supply chain vulnerability. highlight the risk of being a global premium brand. And this is the only reason why people are crazy about this brand. So this Starbucks case shows that global business strategies cannot work in isolation. They must be interlinked, interconnected. HR policies sustain culture, environmental and ethics policies build trust, financial planning ensures stability and partnerships, local marketing secure market access. That is, you are making sure that the country, as in Pakistan, is being happy and the home country is also being happy. You have to go side by side. The key is balance. That is, too much global control risks cultural misfit, while too much global autonomy can dilute the brand consistency. So you need to have a balance between both of them. Research such as Bartlett and Bushell's transnational strategy supports the Starbucks mixed approach global brand with a local sensitivity as well. So this was the example. I hope it's clear to you, to both of you. Tasteen and Rosanna was in the class. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, last time we did discuss about the Sony, Motorola, and LG. So LG,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
have stopped making the smartphones. They are working on the other parts, not the other parts, I mean the other areas. And the Sony, Motorola, they are also working on the other areas. That is now Sony is focusing on the PlayStations, PS5 and everything. Motorola is working on the Motor G budget, and LG is now working on the appliances that ACs, refrigerators, like that. Okay, I wanted to add these things so that if you want to
Yes,
have
ma'am.
any idea about this as all latest information. So that is it. I hope the
Sure,
lecture
ma'am.
was clear to you.